Ladies and Gentlemen. Ich kann ja Deutsch verstehen, aber ich bin nicht so gut im Deutsch sprechen, also ich muss jetzt auf Englisch sprechen. I'm very excited to be here, and first of all I want to express my thank yous to the city of Essen and my colleague Mr. Fass for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to be here today discussing intelligent cities, as this issue is a very crucial thing and very up-to-date thing for us in Finland as well. This century has made the role of the cities altogether very important as being generators of economic development. And I would say cities are actually very crucial in this aspect. And sometimes when you talk about countries, between last November when I was in China, I felt that it was not so much about countries, but even more about cities networking and finding and changing the world. And that is something that we are all doing when we are also developing the society by developing intelligent cities. But I think there are several things that are changing our cities and the way we understand cities nowadays. And I was thinking of raising three megatrends. And one of them is urbanization. It is clear to us that as we look at the developing countries, the urbanization is very strong there. But we can also see it, I believe you see it here in Germany, we see it very strongly in Finland, and in my hometown Tampere we are the most wanted city to live in Finland, and we can see that people want to move to our city, and we have the challenge of facing the growth of the city and handling it in a sustainable way. The other megatrend that I'm thinking of raising here is digitalization of the economy. And when we look at the society, how it is changing and the factors behind it, we can see the change in production. Actually, I would say radical change in production. We can see the changes in the way how we the way of consumption. And we can see also the value creation and trade moving to internet. And all these things will, I would say, radically change the role of the cities as well, and reflect to what we see and how we develop our cities nowadays. And the third big thing that I would like to raise here is a new community spirit. I had a chance today to go to see also the Unperfect house here in Essen, and seeing the community spirit that is, for example, there. And we have seen different ways of community spirit in different cities, and I think that is something that we see in a totally new way. People traveling to other countries and opening their homes for total strangers, and coming together in communities and making change there for their surrounding areas. It is especially pioneered by young and educated urban dwellers. We can see this happening in our cities as pop-up restaurants, spontaneous urban youth culture, or hubs occupied by startup companies. Different kinds of ways. And I think all of these are the factors that bring us to this today's issue on how cities could provide an arena for new innovations. Let me go forward with my presentation. A couple of words about Tampere so that you know what kind of a city we are talking about. Over its 235 years, Tampere has gone through a lot of economic booms and turning points. And at these turning points, we have had to establish our city over and over again, re-establish and think about the role and what we are now in the new situation. It was founded, the city of Tampere was founded in the 18th century as a city that granted free trade rights to craftsmen and merchants. In the 19th century, then we were more known as a industrial city, center of the textile and metal industry especially. And we were the largest industrial city in the Nordic countries back then. Coming to the 20th century, the industrial city gradually turned into a university city with service and high-tech sectors replacing heavy industry. You probably know the Nokia mobile phones and things like that. They are the ones that come from Tampere region. Nokia is actually a city located right next to Tampere, and we are very much functioning together. At the start of the new millennium, we went a big structural change as the ICT industry had to undergo a structural change. And there has been in Tampere a strong research and development center for many large corporations, especially in the sectors of ICT and mechanical engineering, because we have two universities and a university of applied scientists with cutting-edge expertise in these fields. And one of the things that has made Tampere being so successful as it has been in the past is the cooperation that the universities do together and with the employment life and with the city and with different actors. We have a very strong feeling of let's do this together and let's jump into the same ship and sail together. And I would say that's the strongest force that we have together. Well, then I will put these all so you see the whole thing. Often as we talk about what is a smart city and how we see the city nowadays, and today I've been listening to your discussion, not understanding every single word, but understanding about talking about the traffic especially, and we are also putting a lot of pressure to electric cars and giving them priorities, and we are looking at zero energy housing and many things that you have been mentioning here. I'm not going to go to that so much in my speech, but instead I was thinking of presenting a bit how we see in Finland the change of the cities, and especially how we have been formulating it in Tampere. As we look at the city of the past, we quite often are used to think of a city as an organization that constructs buildings, roads, and suburbs, produces services, and requires all the time more and more stuff, uses energy, materials, natural resources more and more time, and spreads and overtakes green areas and rural areas. This is the traditional city. But when we move to the thinking of how we should see the smart city and the city of the future, we have to look at the city as how it facilitates innovative urban possibilities, provides services through a range of means and methods, partners and partnerships, decreases its need for energy and resources with industrial symbiosis and high-level energy-efficient actions, and shrinks its ecological footprint. What combines these things on the right-hand side is that I think it changes the city's role. If we want to be smart cities, we have to be enablers, we have to be facilitators, and we have to start thinking as the city not as someone who produces services or builds something concrete, but as a platform for innovations, as platforms, whatever we do. If we need a service, we can actually open it up for the ideas and let the companions come along and invent it. Or we can, if we have to make an investment, why not take an enterprise along and let them get a reference of that thing for them, their businesses. So it is a lot about the way of working that intelligent city is about, in my opinion, or smart city, whatever word we use. Yeah, and then there was, sorry for leaving out these lowest points, but a critical change is also from going to a hierarchical organization to an open one. I will come back to this open data and participation side of it soon. Okay, but I was saying that the city functions as a platform. We'll put these all so that you can see. I'm not going to read them all through, but you see different perspectives here, and how a city can work as a platform for smart, green, and open city development. And one of the critical things that I already mentioned is the public-private partnerships and how we manage to build them and take companies as partners and build these kinds of platforms for that. Then that was the economy side. Then looking at the governance, open data is one of the crucial things, and opening up the city databases is one of the things how we can work as a smart city and get the innovativeness also from other parties along. And it doesn't only mean in Tampere nowadays the open data is not just that we have opened our decision making and political decision making, but we have also put all our documents in the internet, published the cities maps, traffic data, budget information as raw data, and all things like this, so that businesses can use them as a basis for developing different services and applications. And I think this is one of the ways how we can function as a smart city. Then to the environmental side, eco-efficiency is one of the sides. I'll come back to that later on. Mobility we have been discussing here today, and traffic is one of the things we have in Tampere. We have the Technical University of Tampere, which is they have a very high knowledge of smart traffic, and we are making all different kinds of tryouts with that and try to find new solutions by making it possible. We are also taking along or building the innovation environments and taking universities along. And we are currently changing our university campuses into knowledge and learning environments that welcome the city residents and provide a home for businesses too. And this increases the kind of interaction, lowering the threshold for small and medium-sized companies and startups to develop their ideas into novel product and service innovations. And then lastly, there is the people's side up there, and it means open participation, so that we see also the innovativeness that our citizens have to give for our innovation potential. So the key words are bright, connected, open, and easy. Okay then, connected city. A connected city is a hub of interaction where different experts from different fields meet each other and in open environments. And the city's role here would be to remove the obstacles and provide the space for opportunity for innovation. And once again, thinking of the city as a living lab. And we are, for example, in this matter, we are, for example, planning to introduce smart transport solutions based on the city tramway that we are currently planning, and there will be a lot of things happening there, but this tramline will connect the university campuses and the largest residential and business areas to each other and to the city center, and the tramway is in a way a moving hub that enables travel from one innovation or lesser environment to another in 10 minutes. And the Wi-Fi network allows working and real-time snapshots of whatever is happening wherever you are. And the essential issue here is that the urban environment is attractive and offers a variety of places for work, experiences, interaction, housing, and cultural variation wherever you travel, slowly, walking or cycling. Then to the urban and green aspect of the smart city. This is an aerial view of the city or city center of Tampere, and as you can probably see up there and up there, the city is located between two very big lakes. One of them is almost called like a sea. And we are in a Tampere is built on an isthmus divided by the Tammerkoski Rapids. It brings challenges to our city structure because it's such a narrow place in the city center. And because of that, the city has before expanded always outwards, and we haven't really handled the development of the city. And nowadays we have made an agreement to grow inwards and to bring more density to the city center and build the city alongside with the main public transport systems. And the railway that is going to run through the city is one of the main ways of planning the city and building the new housing alongside that route. But we are also planning a new travel and service center and a city district that will be partly over the railway, with a large sports arena and tall business, office and residential buildings. And we believe that this kind of developing the railway station area and bringing in the tram line, they are the ones that in many European cities we have seen also the attractiveness getting forward and the city being more well off. And that's why we want to see it also in Tampere, bringing more attractiveness and pleasantness and helping us to sustainably face the growth that we are confronting. Here you can see another aerial view of the city of Tampere and the city center. And it shows you the district heat network that covers more than 90% of housing. This is one of our, when we talk about the green city, this is one of our positive things in the city. And in Tampere, this is a very energy efficient form of heating because we use combined heat and power production technology, CHP production. And our power utility aims to shift to using mainly renewable energy sources within 20 years, which means that our city will be almost carbon neutral in heat production by 2030. So this is our main goal on that side. Continuing with the eco-efficient urban planning, I would say that over here it is very important that we see the whole process from planning to building, design and construction, as well as to traffic, housing, use and production of energy and service production, and that we look at all of these issues as one big whole with a holistic approach, because that is probably the best way of bringing the eco-efficient and smart way of producing the services and building the city. It also promotes the encouragement of businesses to get involved in developing new solutions. When businesses know that the smart and green city is the decision makers' common ethos, it helps them also to find the way of finding solutions to that and taking the same aspect with them. They just need to be included in the criteria for innovative procurement. Then, to move on with the innovative city aspect. In the beginning, I was talking about the open innovation platforms, and it is a core of collaboration between the city, universities, and businesses, and it means an operation model and a space in which the ideas and concepts coming from businesses meet the needs of the city and the expertise of students and researchers. And we are building these around the city. Social sciences and economic campus that is connected to the University of Tampere. Kauppi campus for health and well-being that connects the University of Applied Sciences, the University Hospital, all kinds of research services there in the area, patient hotel and things like that. Konela, the engineering campus is located by the Technical University of Tampere, and Mediapolis, a creative industries campus, is connected to the University of Applied Sciences and the studios of Yle, that is Finland's national broadcasting company that has before been behind the big walls, and they turned down their walls and opened up their way of working, and we are finding out a totally new way of media work in Tampere. And all of these innovation platforms also serve as business parks. Moving forward with these business areas, located in the center of Tampere, in Finland's oldest factory building, Uusi Tehdas, in English it is a new factory. It is an open innovation platform, and it has been a real success. It's probably the best known practice in Tampere. And there's also a Protomo, a place in which startup companies can develop. But to speak about Demola in particular, it has been proven to be an excellent innovation platform and a chance to develop new product and service concepts with student teams up to the demo phase. In 4 years, more than 200 demo projects have been developed in Demola, and most of them have been ICT applications, apps and games, but also new concepts for service and trade. And just to show this picture, this Demola concept has been expanded abroad, and it operates currently in 5 countries on a franchising principle, and the newest Demola will be opened this autumn in Bilbao, Spain. About open data, as I was saying, it's an important part of developing an innovative and smart city, and it allows businesses and citizens to realize their own ideas and create new service products. And we have put up an open data project that is making the public data available and thus encouraging businesses to develop applications based on that. And Tampere is the Finland's leading city in the volume of data published, and this is a crucial part of our city. There you see what we are doing with the open data. Okay, I'm running through the last slides quickly. Even during the first year that we published this raw data, more than 20 applications were developed for fields such as public transport and services. Mobile phone to check on the current location of the next bus, to find out where there are traffic jams on your way to work, which means of transport you should get to get there quickest, or how you can get to your destination using cycling routes, or whether you want to find out about hiking routes or open museum exhibitions or other attractions in Tampere. So the open data bases are helping out with these. And we have also taken, lastly, shortly about smart mobility and the smart traffic. Tampere has adopted an active role in Finland in developing the smart city, and we got to be responsible for developing for all the cities in Finland what is the smart city and what is the renewal of industries theme, and this belongs to an innovative cities program in the whole Finland. And the program was launched in the beginning of this year, so we are not very far with it, but we have splendid ideas there, and the first development projects have just started. And Tampere and Helsinki have, for example, launched smart traffic projects that aim at making traffic data public, and based on that, developing new products and travel guidance. And the very last dia, ITS, so intelligent data sources for traffic. Offering traffic data and developing real-time traffic information will enable new transport services such as journey connections, request-based public transport, route guidance services, real-time displays, and traffic and parking control. And above all, a smart traffic system makes it possible for people to travel smoothly and sustainably in the city. And especially looking at this point, I was listening to your views, and it seems that we are all doing very much the same work in all our cities, and maybe we have some things to learn from each other over there. But dear friends, this was my summary, quickly run through about how the smart city looks in the model of Tampere, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer this evening or whenever we have time. Probably now that we don't have, because I have a red light on over there. But thank you very much, and all the great ideas and inspiration in building the smart cities all over Germany.